I'm finally listening to the voice I've been drowning out. The one beneath the noise, the one beneath the fear, the one that never stopped calling my name. Spent years collecting broken pieces from rooms I should've left behind, calling it devotion when I was losing my own mind. I wore empty arms like a sentence, thought silence meant something was wrong. But every time I chased affection, I left myself alone too long. The mirror kept asking questions I was too scared to hear, so I filled every space with somebody instead of facing what's in here. Smiling through conversations while my soul was running thin, searching every face for answers I should have found within. Now the noise is fading, the dust is settling down. I'm finding the woman beneath all the survival I've been carrying around. Layer by layer, I'm meeting her, the version I forgot to know, the one who stayed through every storm. Even when I let her go, I'm learning to be whole before love, to build a home inside my heart. No more looking for a rescue, no more tearing myself apart. If somebody finds me later, let them meet the healed version of me, 'cause loneliness was never the enemy. Leaving myself was the tragedy. Hold before love, hold before love. I'm becoming enough. Hold before love. I used to confuse attention for something sacred and true, mistaking temporary comfort for a future I could hold on to. I mistook being wanted for being genuinely seen. Ignore the empty spaces hidden underneath the dream. Yeah. Now my evenings feel different, no panic living in my chest. The quiet isn't trying to hurt me, the quiet is teaching me rest. The windows stay open longer, moonlight fills the room, and for the first time in forever, silence doesn't feel like doom. I've been talking with old memories, unpacking what I couldn't see. Some moves don't need another person, they just need honesty. I've forgiven old decisions I've released, but I can't change. Turns out healing isn't dramatic, sometimes it's gentle rearrangement. Every boundary I've drawn feels like another breath. Every promise that I keep to myself brings me closer to who I am next. Hey, every time I choose my peace instead of what drains my soul, I feel another fractured piece returning to make me whole. I'm learning to be whole before love, to build a home inside my heart. No more looking for a rescue, no more tearing myself apart. If somebody finds me later, let them meet the healed version of me, 'cause loneliness was never the enemy. Leaving myself was the tragedy. Hold before love, hold before love. I'm becoming enough. Hold before love. To the girl who begged to be chosen, you were never hard to love. You just kept handing your light away, thinking sacrifice was trust. You kept shrinking your reflection to fit inside someone else's frame, never realizing your worth was never theirs to name. Look at you now, standing without permission, growing without applause. Learning that your value doesn't rise and fall with validation. Healing isn't lonely, healing is coming home. It's waking up and recognizing you've been in the fall along. I'm finally home before love, no vacancy where fear once lived. No more shrinking for acceptance, no more trading what I give. If somebody walks beside me, they won't complete me, they'll simply stay. I've already found the missing pieces, I was carrying them all the way. I'm finally whole before love, not perfect, but finally free. No longer asking broken places to become security. If love arrives tomorrow, it'll meet a stronger soul, because I stopped searching for completion and started making myself whole. Whole before love, my heart is no longer searching, my heart is finally home. Whole before love. Whole before love. Whole before love. The night feels lighter now, no one to chase, nowhere to run, no fear of being alone, no need to outrun the dark, just me, finally becoming one with myself. And for the first time, it feels like everything.
Some lessons arrive quietly, like whispers carried through the dark. Others leave scars before they teach, their lessons written across the heart. And I've paid enough to know the difference, I've lived enough to recognize the signs. Now I'm choosing what protects my spirit instead of what just occupies my time. I used to answer every late night call, like my heart was open 24/7. Let people borrow pieces of me, then wonder why I felt so empty. I kept giving chances to things already falling apart, calling it loyalty. While it was breaking my heart, I made excuses for confusion, mistook chaos for chemistry. It's been years surviving storms that were never meant for me. Now I look back and see it clearly, the patterns I couldn't ignore. Every time I betrayed my own needs, I paid a little more. Every compromise felt small until I added up the cost and realized I was disappearing. Every time my voice got lost, the silence feels different now. No tension waiting at the door, no anxiety hiding in the corners, no fear settling on the floor. I learned that calm is valuable, a treasure I can't ignore. And after everything I've survived, my peace costs more. My peace costs more these days, more than apologies and promises, more than temporary changes wrapped in familiar disguises. My peace costs more, my peace costs more these days. You can't purchase it with sweet words, can't reach it through old habits or conversations that still hurt. I paid enough for heartbreak, I won't pay that price anymore. If protecting my soul looks distant, then my peace costs more. My peace costs more than proving that I care. My peace costs more than carrying what isn't mine to bear. I don't miss the emotional whiplash, the highs and lows that stole my sleep. Don't miss checking my phone for answers or wounds that cut too deep. These days my morning starts slower, coffee warm in both hands, no anxiety running circles, no trying to understand. The sunlight through my window feels different than before, because I'm no longer waiting for someone else's call. I've learned every invitation doesn't deserve a yes, and every open door doesn't lead to happiness. Some people only love the version that ignored her own pain, but the woman standing here now won't abandon herself again. She finally knows the difference love and self-sacrifice, and she won't trade her well-being just to keep the peace for one more night. The boundaries feel stronger now, like locks on a healing door. Every no protects the future I've been working toward. I finally understand why my peace costs more. My peace costs more. My peace costs more these days. More than apologies and promises, more than temporary changes wrapped in familiar disguises. My peace costs more. My peace costs more these days. You can't purchase it with sweet words, can't reach it through old habits or conversations that still hurt. I paid enough for heartbreak, I won't pay that price anymore. If protecting my soul looks distant, then my peace costs more. To everyone who called me difficult when I started choosing myself, you only knew the woman who kept her needs upon a shelf. But healing changed the contract, the rules don't stay the same. Access to my energy must now be earned, not claimed. I don't need every room to like me, I don't need every hand to hold, because peace became my treasure and it's worth more than gold. The older I grow, the clearer I can see. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to me. My peace costs more. My peace costs more. My peace costs more these days. More than history can afford, more than comfort and old patterns, more than keeping score. My peace costs more these days, and I finally know its worth. No longer trading my well-being for fear of feeling hurt. I've paid enough for heartbreak, close accounts that kept me poor. Now I choose myself completely, and my peace costs more. My peace costs more these days, and that's something I protect, because the hardest lessons taught me what I should never neglect. The room is quiet, the night is still. No drama, no confusion, no negotiation. Just a heart at rest, just a soul breathing freely. Just a woman finally understanding that peace was never selfish, it was necessary. And that's worth everything. I know you don't see me yet, but I'm you, a few years further down the road. And tonight I just wanted to tell you something. I know you're sitting there thinking nobody understands, wondering if life gets easier, wondering where you belong. So listen closely. 17, you're staring at the ceiling, wondering if you're enough, measuring your reflection against impossible versions of love. You're carrying expectations that were never yours to hold, trying to grow up too quickly, trying to be brave and strong. I know the nights you cry in secret, the fears you never say aloud, the way you smile in every picture while feeling lost inside the crowd. You think everyone has answers, you think you're falling behind, but most people are just searching too. They're simply better at hiding it sometimes. And every insecurity you're carrying feels bigger than it really is, because nobody told you yet that growth is rarely graceful. I wish I could sit beside you on the edge of that old bed and place a little peace inside all the
time to unfold naturally. Dear 17, you don't have to earn your worth. You don't have to prove you're lovable by carrying the weight of the world. Dear 17, the days ahead won't all be easy, but you're stronger than you know, and every storm you're walking through won't stop the person you'll become. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. There's so much waiting for you beyond what you can see. One day you'll look back and be proud you stayed. There will be heartbreak in your future, people leaving without warning signs. Some promises won't survive the years. Some dreams will change with time. You'll make mistakes you can't avoid. You wish you chose another road, but every wrong turn teaches something. Every loss helps you grow. You'll spend some years chasing approval, trying to fit inside someone else's plan, until one day you wake up exhausted and finally choose yourself again. You learn that peace is valuable, that boundaries aren't selfish things, and the people meant to stay won't disappear when you spread your wings. You'll discover that self-respect feels better than being understood, and choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's something you should have done all along. One day you'll stop apologizing for taking up your space, and you'll discover confidence looks beautiful on your face. You'll stop shrinking in conversations, stop hiding what you believe, and finally start becoming the person you were meant to be. Dear 17, you don't have to earn your worth. You don't have to prove you're lovable by carrying the weight of the world. Dear 17, the days ahead won't all be easy, but you're stronger than you know, and every storm you're walking through won't stop the person you'll become. The future's closer than it seems. Keep believing. The best chapters of your story haven't even started yet. And when nobody understands you, when the room feels cold and dark, when you question your direction and doubt begins to leave its mark, remember this: the things that make you different will become your greatest strength. The sensitivity you're hiding will help someone else heal someday. Your story isn't broken, it's simply being written slow. You don't need all the answers now, you only need the courage to keep going. Some days you'll feel uncertain, some days you'll want to quit, but every step you're taking now is preparing you for what's ahead. Dear 17, I wish you could see yourself through my eyes. You stop fighting your reflection, you stop believing all those lies. Dear 17, the life ahead is full of healing, full of lessons, love and grace, and every challenge that awaits you will help you find your place. Hold on, hold on, you're becoming who you're meant to be. Dear 17, everything works out differently than you imagined tonight. Not perfectly, not exactly how you planned, but somehow in ways you can't yet understand, it works out beautifully. The years will change you, but they won't break you. The tears won't last forever, the fear won't stay forever. The doubts will fade, the wounds will heal, and your heart will learn just how strong it really is. And one day you'll thank yourself for staying, for believing, for not giving up on you. Funny how healing starts with conversations you spend years avoiding. A quiet room, a notebook, a few honest questions, and suddenly everything begins to change. Not overnight, not all at once, just one truth at a time. The first thing I learned was simple, but it took years to understand. Just because I feel responsible doesn't mean everything is in my hands. I spent so much time fixing people, trying to carry what wasn't mine, confusing love with sacrifice, crossing every personal line. I thought saying yes made me kind, thought being needed gave me worth. Didn't realize I was abandoning myself every time I put myself last. The therapist asked me one question that followed me all the way home. If you showed yourself the same compassion, how different would your life become? I couldn't stop thinking about it, couldn't escape the truth inside. I've been giving grace to everybody except the person living my life. So I started listening deeper to the wounds beneath the skin, learning that awareness is where healing begins. Every uncomfortable feeling had something important to say, and every buried emotion was asking for a live become. These are my therapy notes, written between tears and breakthroughs, learning that boundaries aren't walls, they're doors I get to choose. These are my therapy notes, lessons I wish I learned before. Self-respect isn't selfish, and peace is worth protecting more. I'm learning how to love myself without losing who I am. One honest conversation, one difficult realization, one healing step at a time. The second thing I learned was that pain doesn't disappear just because you lock it away and refuse to let it near. The past has a way of speaking through reactions we don't understand, through fears we call personality, and habits we never planned. I had to meet old versions of myself, the ones still carrying shame, the ones who thought every mistake would permanently define their name. The younger me needed kindness, not another reason to hide. So I stopped treating old wounds like something I should deny, and slowly I stopped judging them, started offering grace instead. Because healing isn't becoming someone new, it's caring for the parts left behind. It's learning that survival and living aren't the same thing, and giving yourself permission to finally put down the weight. Every session felt uncomfortable, every truth was hard to face, but growth begins the moment you stop running from the pain. Some breakthroughs felt like freedom, some felt like grief instead, because healing often asks us to release what we've outgrown. These are my therapy notes, written between tears and breakthroughs, learning that boundaries aren't walls, they're doors I get to choose. These are my therapy notes, lessons I wish I learned before. Self-respect isn't selfish, and peace is worth protecting more. I'm learning how to trust myself instead of searching for approval in places that leave me empty. I learned that apologies mean little without changed behavior attached. I learned that forgiveness is freedom, but reconciliation isn't always required. I learned that some relationships only survive when you stay small, and some people leave when you stop accepting less than you deserve. Most important, importantly, I learned that healing isn't linear. Some days feel like progress, some days feel like starting over. Some days you're strong, some days you're tired, but both days count, and both versions of you deserve compassion. These are my therapy notes, pages filled with hard-earned wisdom. Every scar became a lesson, every lesson gave me vision. These are my therapy notes, proof that people can evolve, that self-awareness changes everything. When you're willing to do the work, I'm no longer afraid of growth, no longer afraid to feel. Because the wounds I finally faced became the wounds I finally healed. These are my therapy notes, and I'm still writing them, still learning, still growing, still becoming. The room is quieter now, not because life became easier, but because I understand myself better. I know what I need, I know what I deserve, and I know what I can no longer carry. And sometimes that's the most powerful healing of all. Some doors look familiar because you walked through them too many times. Some lessons repeat themselves until you finally choose differently. And tonight, I'm choosing differently. No more circles, no more unfinished endings, no more returning to what already showed me who it was. I used to mistake history for love, thought time invested meant something more. Kept returning to the same old places, even when they left me torn. Every goodbye had a loophole, every ending had an excuse. I kept convincing myself that old pain could become something new. I ignored the warning signs, the ones written across my heart, because letting go felt harder than accepting what was falling apart. I called it hope for a long time, but now I see what it had become. A cycle dressed like comfort, keeping me stuck where I was from. I kept confusing familiar feelings with places I was meant to stay, never realizing some chapters need to end to make a better way. Every road led back to heartbreak, every promise sounded the same, until I got tired of repeating the chapters that never changed. I finally asked myself how many times I'd pay the price for something that kept hurting me while calling it self-love. I stopped running back to people who only love me halfway. Stop running back to situations that stole my peace away. I stopped running back to the version of me that settled for less. Now I'm choosing healing, now I'm choosing rest. Some things are meant to be repaired, some things are meant to be released. And for the first time, I'm choosing me. For the first time, my heart is on my side. I remember all the second chances, the third and fourth ones too. Every time I thought it'd be different, every time I hoped it was true. But patterns have a language and eventually they speak, not through words but through actions, through repeated disbelief. I learned that familiarity isn't always a safe place. Sometimes it's just an old wound, recognizing a familiar face. These days I trust myself more than empty promises and apologies. Because growth taught me that consistency matters more than chemistry. The hardest goodbye wasn't to them, it was to the habits I knew. The part of me that kept returning to what I had already outgrown. The part that feared loneliness more than disappointment and pain. The part that kept reopening doors that should have remained closed. Now every step feels lighter, every breath feels more complete. 'Cause freedom starts the moment you stop chasing what defeats you, and peace begins the moment you stop negotiating your worth. I stop running back and look how far I've come. The distance between who I was and who I'm becoming. I stopped running back and found parts of myself waiting ahead. Dreams I postponed and confidence I almost left for dead. I stopped running back to the pain that knew my name and started moving toward a future that feels nothing like the same. Some things aren't meant to be repaired, some things are meant to be released. And every day I choose myself, I feel a little more free, a little more certain, a little more whole, a little more connected to the life I'm building now. The road behind me is familiar, but I'm not turning around. The peace I found here cost too much to lose, and the person I'm becoming deserves this chance. So I'll keep moving forward, finally free.